Because the next guest on my table has arrived, and this is definitely a project where we need your participation. I mean, we've been asking you for questions all along, and we're not the only one in the industry doing that. Because I'm currently being joined by Erik Meerkamper. Welcome
Yes.
back. We saw you on Channel 3 last year already
That's
also.
right.
You're
Welcome.
currently the Global Head of Citizen Engagement at RIWI. Canada,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
But that's not why you're here. You're here because you guys embarked together with SMR on a project called Ask the World.
Correct.
Can you summarize a little bit what that
Yeah,
was?
sure, for sure. So it was actually came out of an idea. Finn and I in Bogota at the LATAM conference. There,
Yep.
we're talking about this idea of new citizen voice around the world. How do we reach people around the world increasingly? And so we came up with this idea, so who's best to ask questions than the market research world itself. So we came up with this idea where we allowed people to come in with their own questions, anyone from the market research world. We got about 85 or so questions from 30 countries, and we distilled that down into a survey that we then really ran in 63 countries and over 70,000 respondents. And just fascinating questions, and I'm going to be presenting it tomorrow to the whole group.
So the key idea here was that you say, we at RIWI, we have a huge panel, we have access to a lot of people across the world, and let's use that for greater good, right? What this show is all about.
Exactly. Well, we don't really have a panel. What's interesting is our technology is called random domain intercept technology, so we can randomly intercept people anywhere in the world. So it's actually the idea of expanding citizen voice. It's not just people who are deciding, yeah, I like to do surveys or sign up for it. And so we do a lot of work with groups like the World Bank and the United Nations, and often on really sensitive issues as well. So we can talk about things that people otherwise might not do or would not want to be identified or be afraid to talk about it. Like we do huge work on LGBT opinions around the world in places like Uganda or Russia, where it's criminalized behavior.
Yep.
There's no way you could get that data otherwise.
As a regular panelist.
Yeah, it's like now that citizens are increasingly able to be accessed. How can we not? So this idea is how it's kind of getting somewhat fun as well, but just get people to sort of ask questions. I mean, something the market research world does so well. It's a core capability. So we put out there, hey, if you could ask the world any question, what would it be?
Now, the curiosity is what type of questions came in. Did you have a ranking? Did you have the same questions out of those 8, or were they all different?
There were certain commonalities with it. There were a lot of them big sort of social values, social issues, sort of looking at the role of religion in politics. There's things about whether people are more international or like domestic, or should they look more broadly. It was really mixed. We had things about how active you are, how active, which is, I won't give too much away, but...
Well, you can, because this is meant as a sneak preview for your talk tomorrow.
Okay.
So
it's interesting, that one, for example, that, Africans, that we can cut the data in many ways, but are much more active than
active,
people
you mean physically
active.
like
30 minutes a day than people from Latin America. But I question that one because like the Latinas were dancing last night.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't understand. They don't think of that as active activity. But no, so there's a wide variety of things, and we also can really map by region and by religion. So it was great to just get a whole mix. And we combined some as well. There's certain themes that came through.
Can you highlight another fun example of a question that was asked and what you found?
Yeah, what was interesting, a real key one, we were looking at the idea of optimism. So just whether you think you can have a positive impact. And that regionally really showed a big difference. Europe really seems to be in a much more of a funk, a sort of a not as positive mentality as well, a number of areas, Africa even,
So
for
what was the
example.
question here? Can you...
Well, we looked at things about disposable income, if you have money, whether you think you can have a positive impact on the world. There's questions around refugees as well. So you think of maybe what's happening in in the EU right now, as well as refugee crisis, as well as Brexit. It kind of fits these patterns. But the thing is, you can cut this data as well for any single country, and we're going to make it available, so it's
the
free.
findings.
The findings, they can download the report as well, and then kind of look at it and pull out your stories.
Now, was this a one-off? Was this fun, or is this continuing? Where's this heading?
Well, we do it all the time. So we run omnibus kind of surveys. We've been doing this for the last 5 years. So literally hundreds of thousands of surveys.
No, but
going
yeah,
forward.
of course, that's what you do. But I literally mean the Ask the World project.
Well, we'd love to.
Is there
we'll see.
still an opening?
It's been great feedback. I think we also want to see how people are using the data for ideally for social good. That's the idea for it. So we're seeing how the feedback is. New questions, different questions, might be different markets, or we might even focus on some issues like women and girls, for example, is really important. So that's kind of the feedback we're looking for.
Exactly. So say I'm watching right now and I think, well, I got a nice research question for Eric to research. Where do I go? Where do I find the Ask the World project
well,
online?
go to asktheworldproject.riwi, which is RIWI.com. And yeah, you can download the report, and then you can suggest ideas as we go forward to do it as well. It's really is a community effort, and just trying to get people to really see, what's out there, and that the impossible actually is sometimes quite possible. So hard to reach isn't necessarily hard to reach, so let's just do it.
And your talk is tomorrow at 1 o'clock on Channel 1. What is
Yes.
that going to look like? Are you just going to share a lot of findings, or what are you going to share in your talk?
I'll share some of the findings, but I think also trying to get people to think about, the world's our oyster in many ways now. We're as an industry, I know there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of cost pressure on automation, and you sort of say, well, what's the role of the market research in the world? At the same time, when you look at global social research, they are increasingly embracing data and realizing to have social impact. Gates Foundation, other people we work with, really realizing that's such an important factor for having a positive impact. And the skills that are inherent within this industry are exceptionally transferable and really valuable there. So I think, in some parts of the world, market research is getting smaller. In other ways, it's expanding. So I think it's a great time.
And
so that's kind of my
cool.
I'll be
Well,
talking
Eric,
about.
thanks for being with us. Thanks for sharing
Pleasure.
that story. And
like
we'd love to see you tomorrow on Channel 1. I'm going to watch.
Fantastic. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.